Now, just a few more days until Santa is here. We take a look at some of the other hard workers getting ready for Christmas Day. And with temperatures hitting 50 degrees, that's not stopping people from having fun while on winter break. Plus, lawmakers continue to battle over what the president's impeachment trial should look like. Hear one Wisconsin senator's thoughts on the process so far.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5:30.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 5:30. I'm Amanda Quintana. We start tonight with a police investigation after gunshots hit a Sun Prairie house this afternoon. It happened in the 1400 block of Wild Iris Street around 12:20. Officials say there are no injuries, but it appears to be a targeted attack. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Sun Prairie Police Department's non-emergency line. And just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, a 73-year-old Oakdale woman is in serious condition after a crash involving a drunk driver in Monroe County early this morning. Officials responded to State Highway 21 near Ensign Road around 2:30. Police say Gardine Peasley was flown to a hospital to be treated for life-threatening injuries. The driver of the truck, identified as 36-year-old Toma man Charles Davis Jr., was arrested by the State Patrol for an OWI and booked at the Monroe County Jail. Also just in tonight, Monona police have found a marijuana growing operation. According to a news release, officers were in the 400 block of LaBelle Lane around 3:30 this morning to help try to locate a missing child. At the house, officers say they found a marijuana growing operation and various components used to make fireworks. Police say the house's 54-year-old owner was arrested for maintaining a drug dwelling. We'll have more information tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. We have to keep saying it's almost Christmas because you look outside and it doesn't feel like it. You don't believe it.
It doesn't feel like it, doesn't look like it, and that may be a good thing with all the traveling coming up over the next few days. Road conditions and sky conditions are really going to play along. If you have to head into work tomorrow for your morning commute, the road should be fine. Holiday travel also, again, for the next few days should be just fine. Here's a look at our Monday, quiet and dry. Christmas Eve is going to look just the same. Temperature-wise, plan on these mild temps sticking around. Mid to upper 40s for our afternoon highs for Monday. Also for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It's not until we get into 2020 that we finally drop a little closer to average. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the rest of the year in just a little bit. Amanda?
Thank you, Dana. Christmas is just days away, and local bakeries are working hard to fill orders for holiday celebrations. Gabriella Becerra stopped by Batch Bakehouse this morning to see the hustle and is now in with how they're dealing with those extra busy days.
Batch Bakehouse on Williamson Street was filled with cookies, breads, and more, but those baked goods are flying fast.
Staff says this holiday season has been a busy one.
Is that everything for you today?
A busy flow of customers all morning.
What else would you like?
So busy that retail manager J.C. Haas barely had 2 minutes to talk.
I think this is what is going to happen. I cannot promise 2 minutes.
Haas says the weeks before Thanksgiving and Christmas are the craziest time of the year.
Christmas is actually a little less busy than Thanksgiving for us, but we do a little bit more variety and we see more walk-ins all throughout December. Because people are celebrating holidays all month long.
A special holiday menu is created for people to choose from.
So for the menu, the stuff that we've already cut off, we'll do some more traditional items. We'll see like Crystollen, and like in years past, we did a Bouche de Noël. This year we did a Black Forest.
That menu gets cut off so that the team has enough time to fill the orders.
We've had quite the run of a holiday season.
But it's not over yet. Batch Bakehouse will be open on the 23rd and 24th.
We open at 7 a.m. on both days.
Customers will be able to come in to pick up orders.
Yeah, that's fine. What's the name on it?
Or last-minute holiday treats.
Obviously, it's stressful because it's just like we do it every year and we know it's coming and it kind of is, you know, it's something hanging over our head. But when it actually happens and we pull it off every year, like, it's exciting. It's good teamwork.
Tomorrow and Christmas Eve, Batch Bakehouse will be selling items all year round, first come, first serve. So if you haven't picked up any holiday treats yet, there's still some time left.
That sounds like the perfect gift. It looked really good.
It did.
Thank you so much, Gabby. More local news now. Fitchburg police are investigating an armed robbery. It happened last night just before 10 at the Capitol Petro Mart on South Cian Road. Police say two suspects went into the store wearing masks and pointed handguns at the clerk while demanding money. They got away with cash, and Fitchburg's K-9 unit was not able to track them down. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information should call them at 270-4300. A man is in custody after lying about his identity in an OWI arrest. Darlington police say the man was arrested yesterday morning after he passed an unmarked police car in a no passing zone. They say 26-year-old Melvin Ramos Gonzalez, who was wanted in Texas for assault, lied to officers about his identity. He's being charged with obstructing an officer. Officials say ICE has placed a detainer on him and will be coming to take him into custody. Police in Menominee Falls have released a new photo as they search for a woman who they say stole multiple credit and debit cards from a locker at the YMCA. You can see this new photo on your screen. Officials say the incident happened on December 14th. She also made numerous purchases with those cards, and they say she was with a younger woman during at least one of those fraudulent purchases. Democrats and Republicans are sparring over what President Trump's Senate impeachment trial should look like. And there's even more debate about why the House Speaker has yet to deliver the impeachment articles to the Senate. Laura Podesta reports.
She has no case, so let's not submit it.
President Trump and congressional Republicans are blasting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi over an impasse on the Senate impeachment trial. The House of Representatives approved the 2 articles of impeachment last week, but Speaker Pelosi has not yet sent them to the Senate.
This thing's kind of bizarre. They had to rush to this impeachment vote, and then all of a sudden she's sitting on it.
I think it's a mistake on the Speaker's part. I think this has looked pretty political.
The president has called for a full Senate trial with witnesses who he says will help exonerate him, including the whistleblower and former Vice President Joe Biden. Senate Democrats also want witnesses who they believe will reinforce their case, including acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney.
It's going to be much harder for Republicans to hide behind this myth that this was a perfect phone call. And it will make it harder for those senators to vote for acquittal.
On Sunday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke about his meeting with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell last week.
I said we need witnesses and documents. It's only fair. It's only right. He said no. I said, please think about it over these holidays.
McConnell has said he would be coordinating the trial with the White House and that there's no chance the president will be removed from office. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Newly released emails indicate the Trump administration order to freeze Ukraine aid came about an hour and a half after President Trump's July 25th phone call with the Ukraine leader. Coming up on News 3 Now at 5:30, loyalty doesn't always pay off when it comes to car insurance. Why Consumer Reports says you can save big by jumping to a different carrier next year.
For consistent, reliable storm tracking, watch First Alert Weather.
There's new video today of the Carnival ship damaged in a collision with another ship. The Carnival Glory is back in its home port in New Orleans 2 days after it hit the docked Carnival Legend in Cozumel, Mexico. 6 passengers were injured. Passengers on the ship said the accident felt like normal sea motion. Carnival blamed currents for the crash. The cruise line provided passengers with a $100 room credit as a result of the crash. 13 people were shot at a Chicago house party early this morning. Police say a dispute led to shots being fired inside the home. Someone then fired more shots outside at people trying to leave the house. The victims ranged in age from 16 to 48. 4 of them are in critical condition and 2 people are in custody.
Can't normalize this kind of behavior and tragedy in our city. But I think it's also important for me as the mayor to make sure that we're stating very clearly that this kind of violence is just simply not going to be tolerated in our city.
The party was in honor of the birthday of Linnell Irving, who was fatally shot in an attempted carjacking last April. Car insurance premiums nationwide have never been higher. Many people renew their policies every year without shopping around. But as Josh Breiter for Consumer Reports found, there are several easy money-saving strategies for car insurance savings.
Hugo Correa works up repair estimates at this body shop for car insurance companies, so he knows his way around policies and keeps a sharp eye on his own premiums.
If my premium jumps, I'm going to start looking for a better rate.
But often people don't even know exactly how much they're paying.
I hate to say my wife takes care of that, but my wife takes care of that.
Car insurance rates have gone up about 23% in the last 8 years nationwide. In some states, it's even higher. But here's the good news. A recent Consumer Reports survey found that switching carriers can save you money, but only about 1 in 5 people actually made a change in the past 5 years.
No big surprise. Our survey found when people switched carriers that price was a big factor, and 80% of those who switched got better rates.
So ready to shop around? Well, CR found some insurers do better than others at attracting and retaining customers.
When it comes to overall satisfaction, just 2 national companies made it to the top tier of our ratings.
USAA topped the ratings with an overall satisfaction score of 92, but USAA primarily serves military families. Amica also did well, but you may need a clean driving record and good credit report to get its best rates. Even if you don't switch companies, you can still get some savings by asking for a lower rate if your car is older or if your mileage is low, say around 6,000 miles a year. Bottom line, Consumer Reports advises reviewing your car insurance once a year. It could really pay off. With this Consumer Reports, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Consumer Reports says another way to save money is to allow your insurance company to track your driving habits electronically. That's for things like speeding, phone use, or even the time of day you drive. They say good drivers get lower rates with several companies. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5:30, highs in the upper 40s continue through Christmas, when it will go back to feeling like winter. Next. Welcome back. Despite the sun and temperatures hitting 50 today, there are just 3 days till Christmas.
Not like a normal Christmas in Wisconsin without the snow.
Yeah, I don't feel it. It doesn't feel like Christmas.
Many aren't letting the lack of snow stop them from enjoying winter break, heading to Elver Park. Although it's not freshly made and is melting a little, the snow is letting local skiers practice. They say this time of year, there's usually a lot more local ski trails to go on, but right now, they'll take what they can get.
Fake snow is the best that we can get, and it's pretty close. I think we're very thankful and grateful to the city of Madison and the North Ski community for generating the snow for us and making it. It's not big, but hey, it's plenty enough for us to come out and try.
40s and almost 50 degrees, so we can ski in a t-shirt. It's a win-win.
They say the holiday cheer is lacking a bit this year with no snow, but having this little winter wonderland helps make up for it. Without snow at Elver Park, some would have had to travel a few hours away to ski. Well, it looks like almost a week before any chances for snow. Dana, it's just going to stay like this.
A solid week. I enjoyed everyone's optimism, though. You know, find the snow where you can get it. Find a little bit of enjoyment there where you can get it, because it is going to stay mild outside if you were hoping to hop on any of the other trails right now. Certainly good for hiking. You can take the dog out. Good for four-wheeler. Not good for snowmobile. You'd have to go far north to get significant snow on the ground. We're going to stay quite mild, actually, through the Christmas holiday, through the week, into the weekend. We do have one more sunny day for Monday until some cloud coverage builds back in for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But even with those clouds, it's still dry outside. We don't have anything new moving in. As far as your travel impacts go, not just on the roads, but also in the skies, notice throughout the Midwest, things are going to stay pretty calm. So this data is pulled by any approaching storm systems that might be coming in, any opportunities for some stronger wind gusts or any ice accumulation. All of that's factored in. And as you can see, no effects for your Monday. If you are quickly traveling into work or if you're hitting the road for your Christmas holiday, Monday should be smooth again throughout all of the Midwest. And for Tuesday, also Christmas Eve, if you have to wait until Christmas Eve to get your travel in, we should be nice and smooth. We aren't expecting anything new to build on in. Really is going to be quite mild and calm, which is a good thing, I think, for the travel. But I know a lot of folks were hoping for a little more of the white stuff again. You could go to Elver Park. That's where the snow is right now. Tonight, we're only going to drop to the low 30s for overnight lows with that southwest breeze. Tomorrow, plan on a partly sunny sky. High temperatures yet again will climb to the mid to upper 40s. It's going to be a little warm outside for Dana Rock County for the end of December. Well, that's okay. Again, good travel conditions. Find the optimism. Find the little things to enjoy. For Tuesday, the cloud coverage builds back in for Christmas Eve. Temperatures early in the day will be in the mid to low 30s for our overnight lows. And then in the afternoon, we'll be in the mid 40s for afternoon highs. Variably cloudy sky for Christmas Eve. Rudolph's going to be necessary, but things are going to stay pretty dry. We're actually likely going to be pretty close to average with our precipitation. May see a little bit more heading towards the end of the month and into New Year's Day, but no big systems are going to be approaching. A lot of that moisture is likely going to stay south of us. Again, temperatures tonight staying above freezing, only dropping to the low 30s with a partly cloudy sky. 33 is pretty mild for an overnight low. And tomorrow, high temperatures will climb right on up to the upper 40s, and that's where we're going to stay. Clouds building in for Tuesday and for Wednesday for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Temperatures will stay in the 40s. All the way through the rest of the work week if you do have to head back to work after the holiday. For Friday, we'll be variably cloudy, and we start to drop back a little bit in the weekend. A system rolls through, brings a chance for rain on Saturday. Since we're in the 40s, it is just a rain chance. And then for next week, heading towards New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we'll start to fall back a little bit to the low 30s, but that's still above average.
And I like that you're finding the optimism.
Yeah.
Go to Elver Park, enjoy the sun.
You can find it there, right. You can enjoy the sun and the dog walk and the snow all in one.
And the snow all in one. Oh, thank you, Dana. The Packers won't have to deal with Dalvin Cook in Minnesota tomorrow night. So how does that change the game plan? That story's next in sports.
Well, little injury update ahead of tomorrow's Monday Night Football game in Minnesota. Everyone on the list earlier in the week is good to go, minus Dean Lowry and Jimmy Graham, that is. Both will likely be game time decisions tomorrow night. On the Vikings side, running back Dalvin Cook will not play after not practicing all week during the week. Cook hurt his left shoulder in the game against the Chargers. At that time, he was already playing with a chest injury, and on top of that, backup Alexander Madison currently listed as questionable. So the backfield won't really exactly be the strongest point for the Vikings tomorrow, but that doesn't change the prep for the Packers defense.
I don't think it changes at all. I feel like, the whole thing about us, we just have to control our gaps up front just to stop the run game. It doesn't matter who's back there, but if we could stop that run game, man, we could have some fun, man, and get after this quarterback.
And it's kind of tough. We can't control what's going on over there. We can only control what's going on over here. That's unfortunate for them. They're going to stick to their game plan. They're not going to change much up, and they're going to beat the Minnesota Vikings when we come into their house.
Well, as of this weekend, 16 college football players across the country have elected to skip their respective bowl games in order to get ready for the NFL draft. Tell me if you are surprised by this. None of those guys are Badgers. We spoke to several of them earlier this week about the tradition of playing in bowl games here in Wisconsin, let alone the Rose Bowl. And Chris Orr says it has a lot to do with the culture around here.
I think it says a lot about their character, first and foremost. Second, I think it says a lot that they love football, and collectively as a program as well, we love football here. And when you love football, you don't just skip out on your last game with your team. Not saying people don't. I definitely understand the decision. Wouldn't be mad at somebody if they did, but we truly love each other, and nobody wants to leave anybody behind.
Well, it has been more than 6 months since Badgers assistant coach Howard Moore lost his wife and daughter in a car crash. There have been tributes to the Moore family all season. UW-Milwaukee honored him yesterday before the game at the Kohl Center. And afterwards, Greg Gard giving us some things to think about how Coach Moore's 13-year-old son, Jarrell, will have to spend the holidays without his mom and sister this year. And despite that awful accident and other negativity happening in the world, just to be able to take a step back and acknowledge what's right in front of you.
If you have parents that are still with you, enjoy that time with them. If you have kids and they're healthy, enjoy that and appreciate that. If you have your own health, appreciate that, because things can turn, as we've seen here, right up close and personal on a dime, and really bad things can happen. But appreciate this time and embrace this time with your friends and family, because like I said, don't take it for granted.
That's one of the reasons why Greg Gard's one of my favorites. I mean, he really kind of sometimes gives you some things to think about, like, yes, basketball's a thing, yes, sports obviously very important to us, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world. You have a lot of other things to really think about, especially this holiday season. You think about the Moore family. I think that what he said, a lot of us can really just appreciate your friends and family right in front of you at the time that you have them right now.
Yeah, and I think when it happened, a lot of us sent love to the Moore family at the time, but then months later, years later, you're not really thinking about it. So to think about them during the holidays is really
especially during
too.
the holidays.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a 13-year-old boy, you really want to think about that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. We'll be right back. It's funny to see that ice on the car. None of that happened here.
We're not going to need the scraper for any days here soon. Temperature-wise, we're going to be warming on up the next few days. Temps back in the mid to upper 40s. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny skies, but then some clouds will build back in for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're expected to stay dry, though, through the holiday and stay mild all the way through the weekend, not cooling down again until next year, believe it or not.
Wow. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.